thing was about the size of a football field, if not bigger. It was cloaked, and I say that because the only way that you could see the exact shape of it was that it blocked out the stars.
Should I move on? Anyone have questions before I move on to my other set of slides?
People are free to.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a friend who's a MUFON investigator. He was an early member of our group, and you know, he was studying to be an investigator. So
Okay.
he explained a lot of things to me, but I just wanted, if you could explain how it is that you take these, you know, how you take the reports, and then, you know, if you could just explain how you separate them into what you're going to investigate, how you're going to investigate before you go on to the next thing. It would be so great to know how you guys do that.
All
How you
right.
categorize and then go out and investigate.
Okay. It starts with a report, a UFO report. And
Right.
it's important to know not all UFO reports are UFOs. Some of them turn out to be explainable observations, and some of them are absolutely made up stories, and some of them are reports of things that we can't even investigate, like someone was watching on the internet, watching a webcam from somewhere and saw what they think is UFO on a webcam. We can't investigate those cases because we know nothing about the webcam. We don't know if there's a spider web on the front of the camera that's causing false images or what. So those are basically non-UFO cases. They get categorized as information only. But how we go about it is this. First, as state director, I assign the case to an investigator, which could be me or it could be someone else that's working with me. The investigator then goes over the report, tries to get as much information out of what's presented as possible, and then attempts to obtain other relevant information. The weather report, for example, the GPS coordinates of the location of the sighting, any possible information that's relevant about the witness. What's the witness's qualifications? Does the person have a college degree, or what kind of work do they do? Or do they have a background as military or police officer, or they have any special qualifications based on work experience or job training or whatever that would make them a better than average witness. And then the other things you want to know is, do they answer the questions about their vision? Do they have good vision? Do they have poor vision? Were they wearing their glasses if they need glasses? Things like that. You document all those things because they're all relevant to the case. If it's a case of a sighting of an object in the sky, for example, then we go out and we look for other things that could be related, or phenomena that could be the cause of or stimulus of a UFO sighting. For example, if it could be a meteor, we go on the AMS meteor site and look for fireball reports. If it could be satellites, I go on the Heavens Above website and try to find satellites that match by date and time the sighting. So we're always looking for the most detailed information we can. And the MUFON website, when someone's reporting a UFO, it asks them a lot of questions about things like, where did you first see the what compass direction did you first see the object? What direction did you last see the object? About how many degrees above the horizon was the object? What color was it? How high above the ground do you think it was? How close was it to you? Things like that. And all those factors are really important in understanding a little bit more about the case. And once we've collected all that data, we try to contact a witness and try to fill in details that might be missing, or get a feel for the person's character, how likely we, or how strongly we feel about their quality as a witness. Is it someone that we could really, rely on as a witness? Honestly, there are some people, after you talk to them, or after you have trouble communicating with them, you kind of feel that you're never going to get decent information out of this person. And some of those cases are closed with the disposition, it's the term we use for it, disposition of insufficient data. That means you just don't have enough information to make an intelligent decision about the case. But in the end, if the case passes muster as far as being a real legitimate report that can be studied, then you try to see if you can find an explanation for it. Could it be a satellite? Could it be an aircraft? If there's a video image or a photograph submitted, you study that, you try to figure out as much as you can. We look for the metadata on any photographic images that are submitted. As you know, digital photographs have something called metadata on them. In still photos, they're called EXIF, which is I don't know what it stands for, but it is a acronym of some sort for data about the photograph that is stored with the image. Videos also have similar kinds of metadata, and it'll tell you things like the date and time of the photo, and possibly if the person is using a phone that has location services turned on, it'll give you GPS coordinates of where they were when they shot the image. It'll tell you the frame rate. It'll tell you what kind of a phone it was. All this kind of information is stored with the image. And what sometimes happens is we look for this stuff and it's missing. There's no metadata. And then we know that it's not an original copy of the photo. We ask for originals because we wanted to make sure there wasn't any alteration done. So this is all kind of things that we do. I mean, MUFON has actually a training course to become a MUFON investigator. And they cover all these subjects. And then myself as state director, I spend a certain amount of time training each new investigator because they really need, one-on-one mentoring really to get up to speed, because there's a lot to this stuff. It's probably one of the most challenging jobs you'll ever have, especially when you don't get paid for. So but it's interesting. I mean, the chance to talk to people who've had personal sighting experiences and such, it's quite interesting. Did I cover it well enough?
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
That really gives me an idea of how you do your criteria.
Yeah.